Caravella Coffee Talks are back, a space created to speak with thought leaders, to exchange knowledge, and share perspectives.
In these talks, the relationship building team invites you to attend sessions with female leaders in the industry.
We will hear about their aha moments, life lessons, breakthroughs, and how we can make coffee better together.
Over the years, we have seen how the representation of women in the industry has gained traction and has flourished. Join us for some inspiration.
Hello, I'm Isabel, Marketing Manager at Caravella.
Hi, I'm Sofía Narvaez, Relationship Builder at Caravella.
We want to welcome you to this new episode of Caravella Coffee Talks, Women Make Coffee Better. This time, Anna speaks with Priya, who is based in Thailand and is co-founder of Samadool Coffee.
Yes, it was a great conversation. In this episode, Priya tells us about how the Australian market inspired her to start a coffee business in her home country, Thailand. And since they started, they have not only introduced some of the Australian market to the Thai market, but they have also educated consumers in Thailand through great quality and customer service.
Well, that's amazing to see how the more developed consuming countries can inspire the somewhat less developed consuming countries whilst adapting to each culture. Let's see how Samadool did it in the Thai market. We hope you enjoy this conversation.
Today, we have the pleasure of having an amazing coffee professional sharing her story and experience. So let's get started. I'm Ana Sofia from the Relationship Building team, and we have today Priya. Maybe we can start with your background and an introduction about yourself and your experience.
Right. Hi, everyone. So hello, my name is Priya. I'm from Thailand. Nice to meet you guys. Kind of like I want to change to do something else apart from whatever I'm doing in the restaurant, but it's still in the same industry. So that's how I start. Yeah. And I'm working with the coffee alchemy. So it's like a roastery and the cafe. They have a few shop at that time. So start with being a barista and become a senior barista, head roaster, and a coffee QC. So I worked in there for around 5 years. So I got a lot of experiences about coffee in the Australian industry, which is I really like it. So by the time I realized, I felt like, so I turned around myself to say what I can do next. I feel like, well, how about came back home to do something that no one ever do before, like kind of like introduce some culture from Australia to Thai market. That's what I feel like. I talk with my partners and I feel like, yeah, we should start doing something like that. I think it's really, really challenging. Yeah, that's how.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you maybe share us a bit about how was that experience in terms of how the Australian market works and versus trying to figure out and apply all that you learned since you started as a barista and then a roaster, and then taking all of that to the Thai market.
Right.
Was it easy? Was it difficult? What were you wanted to to keep or to adapt?
Yeah. So I will start with the experiences that I have in Australia. So one thing that you need to understand is kind of like Australian is I think it's one of the world's biggest coffee consumer market, and they have like thousands of home roaster, and a lot of cafes. Like one street, you can have like about 20, 30, 50 cafe at the same time in the same street. Wow. So that's how they like drinking coffee in a day. So I feel like coffee is one part of their life. When they woke up in the morning before they go home, at least they need to grab one cup of coffee. they can make it at home, or they just like got one, like drop by to one of the cafe on the way to their work. Um, like I at the place that I used to work, like I have like a lot of regular customer. Like you're gonna see them every day, and kind of like they came back to you like 2 or 3 times a day. So it's like, yeah, I even asked them like, do you have any like lunch or breakfast right apart from coffee? They said like, yeah, this is my meals. It's just like, wow, you just like coffee is one part of your life. Yeah, so that's how they heavily consuming market in Australia. That is why coffee is really really popular, and the industry in Australia is like a big growing. Like every year you're gonna see that lots of cafe open, like new coffee add into the market, like new style of coffee or things like that. But it actually is a good thing because we can learn, we can keep up with what news in the world, like always, like always. They have kind of like two things that have a really good combination, like a traditional plus modern size of the coffee. So it's like go along really well. So that house interest really interesting market. Yeah.
What will you say is the traditional side, and then the innovation, or because it's always evolving, right? Like maybe for people that don't know much about the Australian market and that regard.
Yeah. And one thing that I really like about the market, and I mean the commodity of the roaster in Australia, is they're being as a community sharing of the information, or kind of like you are being a roaster in one company and you go to another roastery, you can just like talk to them, sharing things like that. And each of the roasters in Australia, they have their own style, kind of like this is the way they want to do and they want to serve to the customer. They have a kind of competitive market, but not really in terms of like sharing experience or doing a roastery things. You can say like they actually have the competitors in terms of like a lot of cafe in the markets. So that's one part that we cannot deny, that it will happen everywhere. So that's what I love about the coffee culture community. And another thing is they're really really supporting the local business. Like every corner of the state, you will see like cafes, but they always have customer like standing or lining there like all the time. So that's how I love about it, like not sharing just doing business in market, but you're still sharing the customer as well. Customer have a lot of choices to do that. Yeah,
that's great. I mean, because it's built in that sense of community, right? And like being open to try new things, but also like you said, having that traditional side, so customers can explore. And we learn more by sharing than by keeping our secrets or our knowledge. And so and this applies not only to coffee, but we elevate the experience when we share knowledge.
There's one more thing that I would like to add. It's kind of like those experiences that I work in Australia. It's kind of like coffee is never ending. So I don't think it's just only the coffee business. In most of the hospitality is kind of like the same thing. You have the basic and the standard, but you can get more and more experience from your customer, from the problem that you face. Like you need to fix those things, that thing. So it's kind of like a bit more challenging. It's about give you improving of how you do and how you deal with it. So that's the kind of like the more you get into the business, the more you get to know more about the coffee. It's a bit more curiosity came out. Like you have a lot more questions. Why is like this? Why is it like that? Why this machine is working like this, or kind of like that? And it's just like you need to learn every year. You learn and learn. You get more knowledge, and it's kind of like, in this industry. This is only in Australia. How about the rest of the world being? So it's that how it's inspired me like to get to know more in my my background country. That's what I felt like. Yeah.
And it's very inspiring because you're not only learning about coffee, how coffee
Mm-hmm.
works, it's grown, and
Mm-hmm.
how you can
Mm-hmm.
feature and portray, like everything
Mm-hmm.
that previous hands had worked
Right.
on. But also, like you said at the beginning, the service side industry, the hospitality. It's not only like you
Yeah.
can have a great coffee, but there's more to that, right?
Yes.
In
Yes.
terms of providing a service to
Yeah.
customers, that ultimately create like that balance with the
Yeah.
coffee
Yeah.
and with all the
I think the
elements.
people, yeah, if you working in a hospitality industry long enough to understand, so the product is one of a very important things. Like you have a really good quality product to serve the customer. But another important aspect is about the services. So it's just like as a whole, they need to come together. Yeah.
To have a great experience. Amazing. So, having this experience and learning what you wanted to take and use in that way from the Italian market. How was it when you came back to your home country? Was it
Right.
hard? Has it been challenging to kind of replicate that or start building that
Right.
consuming culture or understanding of coffee?
Well, it actually really, really challenging. So because I'm relocated to live in Sydney for 15 years, but I'm not really like came back many times. Like once in a while I came back to visit my family. So in those 15 years, I think it's a lot's going on in there. Like but at like from the start at that time, I'm not really get to know much about coffee. Like it's just like about in the past 5 years that I really, really get into it. And the culture is a really big difference. That's a big important challenging for us. At first, I don't think it's just only the culture of the customer consuming the coffee. It's just like the whole industry that's in the Thai market is very different. So it kind of like I felt like the more I get to know into the market in Thailand or the industry, the whole is as like it quite obsolete, like a bit more out of date.
Okay.
The reason behind is because of the lack of knowledge and the misleading information in the market. It's not just for customer, but even the owner of the a lot of cafe, the roastery, the home roastery. So this is how the reason I say is a bit more obsolete or out of date. That because of the I'm comparing my experience from what I got from Australian market
Yeah.
to Thailand market. That how like in details lots. When I talk to customer here, I feel like where this information is come from. I never heard before, and I felt like this is not what I know. This is not what I learned from my experience. This is wrong, or things like that. So I feel wrong, but customer is not wrong because they don't know. So our job to do is additional one more job to what you do the business is you need to educate people. So to go to the right direction. So that's what we thought we need to do, and it's kind of like a bit more big challenging. So when you're dealing with a lot of people, I can say like Thai market is quite a big market as well, but in terms of the how the coffee dealing with their daily life, it's a bit more different. People see coffee here as a bit more fashionable.
Okay.
They're not kind of like really dealing it with a daily drinking coffee. Yeah. You will see lots of coffee that sells to lots of cafe and roastery as they represent as a specialty or high-end coffee with a really high price, but that's not what we're looking for. We actually looking for what people drinking every day. The same as when you have breakfast, lunch every day, kind of like that. So that what we actually came up with to came back and doing a business in Thailand. So that's how Samadool happened. That's the name of the cafe. So we actually
can you tell us about the name of the cafe? Why you chose that?
We
that
chose
name?
that name.
Yes.
Yeah. Samadool, it's mean balance in English, and in terms of the deep meaning for everyone here is mean it's balance in everything. When you do business, when you look into the product, so balance is mean your product need to be smooth, nice, and balanced in terms of the coffee when you're drinking. You got everything in a cup. You don't need to be like force yourself to drink that cup because it's kind of like you pay a high price in terms of that. And in terms of doing business, you need to balance in every part of the coffee chain. You need to look back to your farmer. You need to look back to yourself as a producer. The barista making a coffee, and you need to look into the customer side. So this is how you need to balance the whole coffee chain.
I love this. I love this meaning, because it's integrating everyone in a way that it's part of the supply chain, from producers to your partners, like at origin or importing offices, but then also taking into account your team and ultimately the customer who's gonna drink that coffee, and with the aim, to find that balance that it will reflect in the cup. This is amazing. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to.
You're welcome.
I wanted to go back a bit and ask you about. You said educating the customers, educating the market. What are some of the things that you have done to educate, either your team or the customers? Because we cannot educate the whole industry. It takes time, but little by little we can create like a movement, right? So one person shares with the other, and so on. So I'd like to hear maybe a few things that you have done at the roastery to educate or share with people about this new coffee knowledge.
Yeah. So it actually starts from one thing I need to tell everyone, like we actually only start the business in Thailand since January 2021.
Wow.
So but before
Congrats.
that so we start have a shop on January. So but we actually start selling coffee before that, like on 2020. Well, it's we got a big impact from the COVID-19 that's spread everywhere at the moment, but we need to keep moving. So because we actually ordered the coffee and the coffee is already landed, but the shop front is not finished. So this is at that time is a very big difficulty and a big challenge how we're going to deal with the coffee that we already ordered and land, because we want to sell the fresh cup coffee only. We're not going to keep it for long because we know that the quality will drop over time. So we actually communicate, because at that time I'm still in Sydney, but one of the our business partner is already in Thailand. So we need to work together, and we decide like, no, we need to sell it. So you need to start roasting and just start to launch our brand by selling the beans first before we have the front shop. That is kind of like I don't think anyone doing that in Thailand. That's very difficult. I know.
It's
we
like
start
this
from
is
selling.
this is now or never. Like we are gonna do
Yeah,
it because you wanted to keep
yeah,
stay true to your mission, to your vision as well.
yeah,
Like we want to keep the fresh crop
yeah.
and a good quality.
Right. Where the point that we start, it actually different way from other places doing it because they need to have the front shop for customer to came and try. That's how difficult that we need to challenge when we start because customer never try what we're making for them to taste, but they will start from buying beans. So they start from what we roasting. So that's a good experiences and I think
What
it's work. Yeah,
what
it
are
actually
some
work. Yeah.
what are some of the comments maybe that you got from customers at the beginning because it was a different way of entering the marketing and the market and offering the product, right? Since you couldn't maybe do a tasting, invite people due to
Yeah.
COVID and the situation. So maybe what were like customers asking and sharing at the beginning?
Yeah. It's kind of like we grow really slow from the beginning. Like oh, we actually have a good size of it. Like I mean, even we don't have the our own shop yet. I mean the front shop yet. But we actually have one of the small brand new as well, open in the another province.
Okay.
It's one of the hometown from my co-founder. He decided to do with his brother. His name is Sam. Sam decided to do with his brother to open that shop in his hometown. But that shop it's represent only Thai coffee. So that
Okay.
how he start with those small group of people of the market in his hometown. And then a little by little, because we ordered the coffee from Colombia, I remember that's our first pallet from you guys. And we done another thing that the market not no one done before. We launched all 6 Colombian coffee together at the same time.
Wow.
And people is just so surprising and thought we are crazy because but we were really confident in all the coffee that we buy from you and what we're roasting for the customer. 6 of them has a really unique character. So there we have a lot of experience from that 6 coffee. So most of the cafe and the market in Thailand, they actually doing like different variety of the origin.
Yeah.
Not one origin, but different
Profiles.
single estate.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we do. That's another thing that we do different way from other people, and it actually work. So I
That
don't
is
know.
amazing. That is amazing because it
Yeah.
also challenges the idea of what a Colombian coffee tastes like, or it will be Guatemala or maybe Mexico. Through this that we can find different profiles from farm to farm and from state to state. So it was, I will say it was a bold move. Congrats that you guys wanted to do it that way, and amazing at the same time, being able to provide that experience through another lens to something they were not thinking, maybe because you will say let's compare 3 origins. So maybe you could like Mexico, Colombia, and then Peru. It's easy to spot the differences. But then if you put different places from the same country, it becomes really interesting.
It's very difficult.
And difficult as well.
Right. Yeah. Because these days when we do cupping taste, every single time we do blind cupping test. So that's how we look into the quality of the coffee. So we're not actually look into like, oh, this is from just only one country. So when we review the coffee after we cupping, so we kind of like, whoa, lots of coffee is surprising us. Like, this is the coffee that I had before, but this year it's just amazing. Like another different kind of flavor profile and So that's how the coffee inspired. It's about like the improvement in the coffee change. This is the way we look back into the customer. I mean the producer. That's what we're looking into as well.
Amazing. And it's also like a way to spot the differences because every harvest is different. Even if you're getting the coffee from the same state, then you go, municipality, town, farmer, there might be a slight change. Maybe weather conditions were not the same, so they had to change fermentation time. Just to give you an example, it will be similar, but something might change. So those changes are hard to notice when maybe you don't get the same coffee up, let's say 2 years in a row. Like you need to get the same coffee to kind of taste that difference.
Yeah. So well that actually the whole coffee chain that we're looking for, and we sharing that experience to the customer from the start. Like so actually until this day we still really happy that the first customer with us still with us until today. So that's what we try to do. And we think like the differences, the concept of the thinking out of the box, that what we're doing at the moment, we work. And because we see the possibility that the market can be changed a little bit by a little bit, but we actually need to work a little bit more harder than what we're thinking. So like, we need to be deep in details.
Like creating a movement. I think it requires a lot of education. And in following that, how do you see the market maybe in Thailand moving forward? Let's say 5 years. Where do you see it moving, or where do you want to take it? Because you have started, this new project, and what do you ambition?
Okay. So we actually have a really high ambition to make this thing happen in the future. The more that we get into the Thai market at the moment, so the more we learn. Like every day we're thinking like how we're gonna make it better. So I think we need to look deep into where it came from. So it's mean we look back to the coffee farmer. So I think they need more educations, need more support about how to improve the actual quality in the coffee green bean. So one of the biggest and one of our target in the to do this business, like as a Samadool Coffee, we really actually want to bring the actual Thai coffee to the world standard market. I really want Thai coffee to be one of the coffee that on the cupping table that people around the world can cup and taste and choose it. That's what we actually really want to make it happen. Yeah. So like, that's
like bringing bringing amazing coffees from other countries, but also like elevating the experience and improving what the country has, how it consumes it, the perception, education, and making the industry better in that sense.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's what we're doing at the moment. So as because of the COVID, we don't have like that much chance to meet the customer like face to face. So what we start doing now is we start to do live with our customer, like a wholesale customer, and we're starting to live to pick the topic of explaining, educating people through life. That's I think that's the best way at the moment to do the like to adapt yourself to the COVID situation at the moment, I think.
And to keep the conversation. I also think that, like Instagram lives and webinars last year were fundamental to keep us connected at a professional level as a coffee industry, but also like on the personal level. And the more you share, the more you'll find people that are willing to listen to new information. And I think it's very enriching because you can get like random questions or questions that you might see like common or that understand as a coffee professional, that the consumer you want to reach and maybe consume the product or just learn and plant that seed of curiosity doesn't know. So it really depends, on the market and the customer, because some of them do know, and some others are like, really, coffee comes from here. It's grown this way. So really basic concepts can change the perception of people towards coffee.
Yeah.
So that
we actually change. I will tell you the stories of one of the customer. So we found out that the customer like have the coffee from Kenyan coffee, and they have a really bad experience about the Kenyan coffee. Yeah. And they said like, which one do you recommend? And I asked them like, what preference or what flavor profile you like, so I can recommend the thing that match to what you like. And it says like, any of them, they're not getting sour, and I don't like Kenya coffee. And it's just like, whoa. It's just like, whoa, what happened? And I say, okay, you need to try our Kenyan coffee. It's really good. And he said, okay, I try. And that is like change his world about Kenyan coffee. He never tried the coffee that tastes like really sweet, fruity, good aromatic tea like that before from like any of the coffee in Bangkok, in Thailand. So, and after that he just came back for more. And then I think until today he's waiting for that coffee to come back. But at the meantime, because we actually sell only fresh coffee from around the world, including whatever Colombia, Guatemala, Nicaragua, or lots of country. So this day we let the customer develop that habits. Like, if you want this coffee, you need to wait, because now we sell only fresh coffee.
Yeah.
But by the time you're waiting, you get more
Drink
experiences of something else. So that's what we're doing. It kind of like a bit forcing the market to do what we're doing at the moment.
But it's great because it goes hand in hand with seasonality in a way, right?
Right.
And that's sometimes we like, speaking from a consuming perspective, like you want that coffee every day because you love it, but like any product, it has a shelf life. It will be at its best during a period, and it depends on how it was processed. But it's good that customers acquire that understanding of how coffees can rotate from continent to continent. So we started going from here, then we move here, and then we come back. Because it also kind of creates, from my understanding, that curiosity too. Like, what do you have now? Like, what am I gonna taste? And it gives you room and flexibility, I believe, right? To choose.
Yeah. And this day we have lots of customers, like, I mean, lots of regular customers as well, that they came in like, what you have new today? Like, kind of like they're not actually specific particular coffee from just only one origin. They kind of like they open more. They open their experiences to try our coffee more, like in any of whatever we have available. Even the coffee that they try before, like maybe probably they came in last week and they tried this one, and they love it. They ask for more for today, and it's just like, whoa, this is not the same as what I had before. And I said like, yes, because the coffee, they have the shelf life, the aging, they have like a lot of things going on in that cup, and it became more and more to open your mind. Like same coffee, it doesn't mean you're gonna have the same taste like all the time.
Yeah. Maybe you can have the same quality range, right?
Quality ranges, yeah.
But with a different insights or a different experience with coffee, like maybe more fruitiness, maybe just more chocolate. It depends, right? So that is amazing that people are open to those differences, because sometimes I guess that's kind of the advantage when people don't know, or because you have like that opportunity, whether like when it's like a market that is really established, that really likes this profile, they want that every day, and it's harder to change. So bringing this mindset and way of introducing the coffee, it's amazing for new consumers and in the Thai market. Continue on that, Priya. How do you see coffee companies supporting women in the coffee industry now that you have started this movement of uplifting Thailand specialty coffee scene, especially supporting women, because women have played historically an important role in the coffee industry that is not always seen or recognized. But how do you portray it, or how do you want to see it grow? And that companies can also support this growth.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As I can see, there's a lot of women working in the coffee industry at the moment, but it's different from the past. They used to work as a waitress. So the maximum that I can see, they used to work as just a barista. But these days, they become a roastery. They open the shop. They become as a lot more producers as a woman as well. So for me, when you ask me like, how can I help this thing happen in the future? I think at the moment, the thing that I can do is I give the people the opportunity to get into the business, to learn more about coffee, that where most of the people start. So if you got an opportunity to get into the business, so you have a chance to learn and experience a lot of things in it. And another aspect that I can do is about sharing information and my experience, combining to whatever available in the market, and the people's already get those opportunity. So this thing is not going to happen within like a few weeks, a few months. It takes years. So I think that's what I can do, because people can develop their self-esteem, develop more skill if they had a chance to get into that business and doing things. So the more they get the confidence into what they're doing, that is a very important part of the people that can become a leader. That's what I think I can do. Yeah.
Amazing.
And the industry can do as well. Yeah.
I think I agree with you, because by sharing what we know with other people, we actually learn more, right? And also being like kind of having the opportunity to be like a mentor, or just opening the door to other women or young people that want to learn about coffee that maybe can really contribute a lot, but just haven't had the opportunity, can really change, someone's life, but also where our industry is going. So that's amazing.
I think these things is important because I'm at a person who got that chance, so that's why it's made me today. So I think I can give that back to the community or to the people who love to develop themselves or who really love in coffee. That's I think I can do. Yeah, I'm still thankful to my ex-boss in Sydney. Like that's give that opportunity to me, and well, I need to do more, but by my own and my team. That's what I can do. Yeah.
Great. And this doesn't, I was by sharing what you said, going back to what you said, it isn't just like a woman's job to do it, right? Like everyone can mentor, like you can mentor a young person, like either men or women, or how they decide to identify themselves. It's like, here's my knowledge and I have the opportunity to share it, but also like having that other person really committed to paying attention, to dedicate time to learn. So it goes both ways, right?
It needs to be both way, because if you keep educating people, sorry, for me, gender doesn't matter, but woman is like a bit more play important role in, like you can see like lots of countries, like they have women in every industry. So I want everyone to think the same way as what I'm doing. So as long as that people is open to learn the new things, so it's give and take. So yeah, give and take. So kind of like that. So if you want to see the market is growing, so you need to kind of like sacrifice yourselves in one term of like you need to share in your experience and give to the people. So that's how the people can take that and give it to other people. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, I completely agree with you on sharing what we know and mentoring and kind of being that person that opens the door for another one, right? Because it's not always easy to find those opportunities, either if you're speaking from a producing country or a consuming country. There are challenges for people who want to be involved in coffee. So yeah. Well, Priya, thank you very much for sharing your time, your knowledge and experience about the Australian and Thai coffee market.
Thank you for you, Anna, and Caravana Coffee. That's giving me a chance to speak and to tell the stories of what we're doing in the business in Thailand, how we start and how we incorporate those experiences to make up as our Samadool Coffee in Thailand at the moment. And well, so one thing that what I want to tell everyone, coffee is never ending. So you can keep learning more and more. So every year, the producer produce a better coffee. Every year, they have a lot of more improvement from the producer, or even the roastery, that's improvement in terms of their roasting profile to produce a good cup of coffee. And just keep open to whatever available in the market. you need to learn and try, to kind of like to put yourself into to the place that you think you can help other people as well. That's what I think. Yeah.
Amazing. It's being open to learn and to explore, right? Because coffees change, new things are happening in the industry, and like you said, the producers are improving, but also the roasters, the baristas are improving their skills, so to provide a better service and also to make the most out of that coffee.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us.
You're welcome.
So thank you very much, Priya.
Thanks for watching Carabela Coffee Talks.
And stay tuned for the next episodes coming in the next few weeks.
So far, we have had amazing guests who share their insights and knowledge. They are experts in different areas such as roasting, green coffee buying, and research. They bring inspiration by doing so much good for the industry.
Yes, they do. And if you have missed any of our previous episodes, we invite you to check them out. They are all available in our podcast platforms as well as our YouTube channel.
See you next week.